This is one of the 4 respiration chambers.
Researcher Andy Cole has dealt with some of the most critical cattle industry issues, but it all started on a farm in the Texas Panhandle.
So I grew up hoeing cotton and driving a tractor. But the thing I really liked was working with cattle and pigs. So I decided to go to West Texas A&M University, where I got my bachelor's degree in agriculture with an animal science option.
Under the advice of his ag ed teacher, Andy chose Oklahoma State University for his graduate work. He earned his master's degree in animal science in 1973 and a doctoral degree in animal nutrition with a minor in biochemistry in 1975. Andy would teach briefly at Texas Tech before returning to the Texas Panhandle. He began a 40-year career at a USDA research facility in Bushland, Texas. Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs for Texas Tech University, Michael Gallion, was Andy's college roommate.
When Andy was in graduate school, he wasn't the best public speaker. And when he got out, knowing what he needed to do as a scientist, and I think again what he needed to do in terms of conveying the results of his data and his research to people, he joined Toastmasters. And he won competitions, and I mean, he reached the top that you can reach in Toastmasters.
Andy would eventually use those speaking skills when he began researching shipping fever, a significant concern in the livestock industry.
It's got the name because normally it's when cattle are shipped from one location to another.
Andy became, over the course of 15 years or so, a national expert in that topic, was, writing, talking everywhere on the topic, and really well thought of, well recognized.
Mid-career for Andy, the USDA asked him to shift his research to examine greenhouse gas emissions from feedlots, an area of research that Andy knew well.
I did my master's work on methane inhibitors in beef cattle. And when I finished my career, I was back to working on methane. So you can say I came back around to the home again. About every 20 years, there's a publication called Nutrient Requirements of Beef Cattle that gets revised. And in that publication, today there are 2 chapters that have been added to that since I started to work. One on feeding stressed calves and one on environmental issues.
After winning many industry awards, Andy has given back to the educational institutions that gave him his start. He established the Cole Agricultural Endowment Scholarship at West Texas A&M. But when it came to OSU, he did something a little different by creating a traveling scholarship.
I was talking with Gerald Horn one day at animal science meetings and mentioned I wanted to start a scholarship in animal science. And Gerald said, well, the biggest problem they had was they didn't have money to pay for graduate students to travel to scientific meetings. And since I had been there, done that, and I could understand that, I wanted to be able to help out that way. So I was able to start a graduate student travel scholarship.
Andy has also funded a student huddle room in the New Frontiers Agricultural Hall.
My VOAG teacher and my 4-H leader both were graduates from OSU in ag education and animal science. And so I've been able to hopefully fund a student congregation area there that their names will be on.
It's wonderful to see such a high caliber researcher remember where his roots are and remember his alma mater. And we're very grateful for him thinking back on his alma mater and inspiring a next generation of students to follow in his footsteps.
And for those future students who'll be using those study areas, Andy has some simple advice.
I love a quote by John Wayne in the movie, The Sands of Iwo Jima. Life is tough. It's tougher if you're stupid. And so I think try not to be stupid, try to keep your wits about you, and it'll just make life and progressing a lot easier if you just do that.
Celebrating Dr. Andy Cole, 2023 Ferguson College of Agriculture Distinguished Alumnus.